Everyone, here we are for our final 9th edition battle report. Of course, we're going to end off this edition with the Tyranids taking on the Salamanders. We're going to jump back and use the core rulebook missions away from the GT packs, just having some fun. And of course, you can see my Dimachaeron there before it becomes a legend. Brought some units that are just fun for me, and I haven't used in quite some time. So it's 2,000 points. Went with Behemoth because I was looking at the edition, and that seemed to be the fleet outside of a Leviathan for that long stretch when it was really good that I played the most, I would say. Either that or Kraken, but Behemoth I felt calling. So we got Swarmlord with 3 Tyrant Guard. He is not the Warlord. The Neurothrope is going to take on the role of the Warlord. He has Paroxysm and Psychic Scream. Then we have the Neurothrope who has Synaptic Tendrils and Catalyst Onslaught typical loadout. Then we have a Trigon Prime, just bringing that for fun. It has Adaptive Biology. It's starting with 3 CP altogether, and the other CP spent on the Behemoth Relic, so it has 3 damage claws instead of the 2, so quite spicy. We're going to see if we can actually get it up the table without dying. And then 3 Zonethropes, of course, to help with said Trigon Prime. I wasn't going to bring them, but then I was like, he needs some help getting up there. The Parasite, just why not? Wanted to bring the Parasite. It's fun. I had 80 points, so I was like, what do I do? And sure. And then we have 5 Warriors with Devourers, Death Spitters before they become in the 10th rules. It's just being fully combined. The Bone Sword's not having any value, so I'm going to use those, and I just love Warriors. Then we have the Hormigons with Adrenal Glands. Going to try them out, 14 in each one. Just been having so much fun with them, and aesthetically, then I actually have a ton painted up. Going to use them. Exocrine with Voracious Ammunition. And then, of course, the Dimachaeron. So sad this thing's going to Legends. And I'm really hoping come October when the release comes out, they either replace it or give it another alternative unit to stand in as, because it is a fantastic model, and it is unfair that it's going to Legends. I know you can play in casual games, but it is just a ton of fun using that, even in tournaments and whatnot. So that is 2,000 points of Tyranids. Oh, it has Dermic Symbiosis, because I don't want it to die right away.
All right, everybody, we got 2,000 points of Salamanders, last game of 9th edition, before my Salamanders get morphed into just generic Space Marines. So sad, but it's all good. I had a good run in 9th. We had a lot of fun. Maybe in 10th I'll get them all finished, painted up, and we'll see. All right, so starting off, we got some characters here. We got the Captain in Terminator armor. I gave him a Relic Blade, as well as a Combi Melta, since free points, you know. And I got a Librarian, Primaris Librarian, Fire Shield, and Drake Skin. Also have a Primaris Lieutenant, and he's running the Stalker Bolt Rifle. I also gave him a Relic, the Reliquary of Gathalamor, to deny some psychic stuff. And then he's got the Iron Resolve, so +2 toughness. Lieutenant, he's got the Stalker Bolt Rifle. Hoping to get some wound re-rolls there with the Flamers. I could have been Kare Assassin in my No Force slot. 3 sets of troops, 3 5-mans, 1 tac squad with a Combi Melta. 2 5-man intercessors, both with grenade launcher, just to get the extra little damage on those monsters. Into my elite slot, they're my compulsory slot for Arks of Omen. 5-man Blade Guard. I got Apothecary, 5-man aggressors, Flamestorm aggressors, 5-man Stern Guard, all with Combi Meltas. And then I got a Venerable Dreadnought with a double Ascanum Flamer, a Redemptor Dreadnought. First time playing with this guy, so you know what that means. He's not painted, so maybe that'll help and save him. But I am running him as the Plasma guy, not the Gatling gun, even though he's modeled with it. And then over here, we got the Drop Pod and Fast Attack. We got 3 Suppressors. And then the heavy support, we got the 3 Infiltrators with, or not Infiltrators, 3 Eliminators with Las Fusel, 3 Eradicators with the Multi-Melta, or Melta Rifle, sorry, the Assault one. And then finally, but not least, the Predator Annihilator with his 4 autocannons, or 4 las cannons, sorry. All right, 2,000 points, Salamanders.
So this is the mission we're playing. It's called Retrieval from the core rulebook. We're only using the core rulebook objectives, which actually felt a little weird and kind of funny looking at how some of them are scored. But again, we want to end it 9th edition where we started. So using the Arks of Omen detachments, though, I don't know if we mentioned that, just for building, just to keep things consistent, and 6 CP starting, so we're both at 3. So it sees 18-inch deployment up, 6 objectives, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the table here we're playing on, so it took a mix of some of our old terrain, mix it with the new stuff, just to kind of create a thematic looking battlefield. We actually set the terrain up before we saw what the mission was, so worked out good. Again, 18 inches up here. Secondaries, I went with Assassinate, able to score 15 on that. While we stand, we fight, which I need to double check, is the Dima, Swarmlord, and I think the Exocrine. It's either the Exocrine or Neurothrope. Need to check. Definitely missed that one. And then I went with banners. On the Salamander side, we have banners. First strike, so going to go for a hard alpha strike on the Tyranids, which I think should be doable. And then bring it down as the third. So we're going to jump in, find out where we're at. Both sides are even, so we won't do the old deployment roll off here, but then we'll find out who's going first in our final 9th edition battle report. Folks, so we have deployed. So Tyranids on this end, taking a look at my deployment, we got the Dimachaeron, 3 Zoes, Parasite, Neurothrope, Exocrine, Swarmy with his gang up there within 3 to protect him. Trigon Prime right up on the line, or more or less on the line. Hormagaunts, Warriors, Hormagaunts over on that side, and that's it for me. So over on the opposing end, we have the Salamanders. Taking a look at their deployment, we have a unit of Intercessors, Captain, Dreadnought, Eliminators, Suppressors, unit of Attack Marines there with the Librarian, Predator back, the Aggressors, who's in the middle there, Apothecary, and we got the Blade Guard. Up here we got the Vindicare, and more Intercessors back there with the Dreadnought, and then in your drop pod you have the Veterans, Stern Guards, and the Eradicators in Strategic. So that's it. We're going to roll off now and find out who's going first in our final game of 9th edition. So here we go. 3, 2 or 3. Ooh.
Perfect for timing.
5. Okay. The chances. 2. All right.
5.
Salamanders get to go first in our final game of 9th edition. So we're going to see. It's been a long edition of Tyranids getting the better of them. So a good end for Salamanders fans would be for them to get the better of the Tyranids here heading into 10th edition. Movement is done for the Salamanders. So over this way, the Eliminators, Predator moving forward along with the Dreadnought. I have enacted my Zoanthrope imperative for obvious reasons. Lots of las cannons and shots coming down, especially where we have a drop pod of Meltas now sitting right in my face. So again, they're going for that first strike. Can they take out a unit? Because if they don't, that's 5 points that they cannot get. Potentially 8, I guess, if they can kill more than I do in the first turn, I think it is. So let's come back after this and see, can they get the damage done? I guess, yeah, you have a Psychic phase, so we'll come back after Psychic. And so maybe the Salamanders aren't off to a great start here, but again, we were discussing some of the Tyranids. I have high hitting power with like the Dimachaeron and the Trigon, but Overrun is gone for them. So once I get in there, I will likely kill something, but then I'm going to be just chilling, hanging out. So all that happened, the Trigon lost 6 wounds. Oh, wait, hold on. He had 14, so 4. And then, so he lost 8 wounds, so he's down to 7, which is 1 away from bracketing. These guys, though, were the story of the turn. They shot at the Tyrant Guard, missed 3 of the Melta shots, and then I made 2 of my invols popping that. But I am out of invols after this turn, which is kind of risky because I don't have a lot of my big guys don't have invols. Only him and Swarmlet, these 2 fellas do not. And the Trigon he's about to yeet in there and then hope for the absolute best. So that's it for the turn. So nothing for first strike. If the Salamanders can get away with me not killing anything, which emergency scenario, I will kill that drop pod if I have to. But we'll come in to Tyranids turn number 1. Folks, the movement is done for the Tyranids. So the Trigon Prime burrowed away strategically to not die, because the only thing he would have been able to get at would have been these guys over here. I could have advanced in charge and maybe got something, but I'm advancing those Hormagaunts over that away to allow me to jump over and take that objective and kill off the Intercessors over there. I've been buffed with the Trigon ability, Swarmlord, and they are double obsec, so they can 100% secure the objective over there, especially with their consolidation and whatnot. Dimachaeron over this way getting a hot 6 advance, so jumping through, blocking itself from the terrain over on that side, and then going to have to force the aggressors choosing what they would like to do. And then he's going to get blammed by that. No matter what, Parasite coming up, throwing a banner there. Those Hormagaunts throwing a banner. So I got my 3 banners up. And there is 2 banners for the Salamanders on that side as well. So forgot to mention that last turn. And the Exocrine just moving over. Swarmly just shifting ahead, getting in Psychic Scream range of those guys. So, and Zoanthrope's in the middle. But that's it for movement. We'll come back after Psychic Variant saved him. So Psychic phase and shooting done. So these guys got vaporized by the Zoanthropes doing 8 mortals. I am going to miss that, but my opponents will not with 10th edition. I mean, they're still going to be decent, but not near that obnoxious. Exocrine then firing at the tank. The -1 hit power coming in clutch there as it denied, I think, 4 of my hit rolls. Yeah, 4 of my hit rolls. But I still got 2 of them through, dropping it down 6 wounds. And then we rolled just for fun to see what happened, and he would have got vaporized. So Librarian, keeping the Predator in the game, and bracketing them, which is nice. And then finishing off the last guy that was left there from the Psychic Onslaught from these guys, with the Warriors taking care of business there. The Hormagaunts just buffed to the 9s. They got Onslaught, Unstoppable Onslaught. They got all the Onslaughts. They're going to charge into those Intercessors over there and should just blend them, take the objective, and probably could tie up a few things with their long Consolidate. Big old Consolidate jumping. So we're going to roll off the charge here on camera. So it's a big roll. I have no CP.
I will do Born Protectors.
Do Born Protectors for him.
From the Dreadnought.
Into them? Alrighty. Okay.
So that's all the shooting and stuff, so still roll your charge.
Yeah, I'll roll that. Very low chance they'll get shot and they'll die. So we'll just roll the charge just to see. Huzzah! They're in because it was a 7 before we. And I also add 1 to that too from the Tricon power. So they're in, folks. So turn is done. The poor Hormagaunts. Oh man. They came in and he used Transhuman on them, which didn't really make too much of a difference. It took out 5 wounds. But then rolling insane on the saves. I think you had 14. You had 14 saves on a 4-up and failed 5 of them. So really well there. Even just failing 2 more would have made a difference, because even after everything bad that happened to me there, failing morale, losing a ton of guys, the objective is contested. Thus, the banner stays alive.
Question: Can I have piled in?
No, because morale would have happened after. Okay, yeah. So you would, because I would have.
Yeah.
I lost 4 morale, which was the 4 that were in the front. Yeah. So a little yucky there, but all said and done, I think it's shaping up to be a pretty decent battle. We're going to jump into turn number 2 now. So movement done for the Salamanders on turn 2, scoring hold 1, hold 2. Intercessors throwing a banner up on this objective. Everyone else just shifting forward to make room for the everything to shoot. The Dimachaeron, more than likely. Over this way, Blade Guard moving forward just to form a wall. Intercessors falling back to create a nice space for everything to move through. And that's it. We're going to jump into shooting and psychic. So that's it for the turn. So Dimachaeron withering an absolute storm, only going down to 9 wounds. Max Flamers came through with those guys and only getting a grand total of, 2 wounds through it. Then the last fuses dropped another 3. Then the Predator dropped 5, but then I made 4 of the Feel No Pain. So Catalyst, right choice. Actually, if I didn't have Catalyst, I think he would have been Dunzo, or at least had a wound or 2. But he is bracketed, but I can heal him for 1 CP. Over this way, I lost 4 Hormagaunts from the Dreadnought, so they withered it pretty well. The Exocrine did take some damage, though, losing 3 wounds from the Plasma one going through there. And that's it. Oh, I did lose these Hormagaunts back here as well. Since we were playing with the core rules, the raise the banner is a little bit different, so we had to keep some guys, because it's at any phase, if you can control that, it would go down. So we just adjusted that. So because if they left, the Hormagaunts would actually tore that banner down. But that's it. So a banner up here, there, and there. We're going to jump into Tyranids turn number 2. All right, folks, so turn 2 is a go with the Tyranids. So scoring hold 1 and hold 2. We both hold the same amount of objectives. Dimachaeron leaping forward, getting a small 1 on the advance roll. However, jumping up here, going to go in and finish off the aggressors is the plan. Touching these guys, zapping them with the chest, and starting just mayhem over on this side of the table. Zoanthropes did not like getting sniped by the Vindicator, so moving this way so that won't happen again. Plus, then going to hammer them with some Psychic Might. Parasite staying there, The Neurothrope staying back here as well, so we can chain across Onslaught, because I just need for the Dimachaeron. Trigon Pine popping up back here, which is perfect, because it is in the exact spot where he can shoot the Librarian, being the closest model to him. And then over this way, the Hormagaunts, again, transhuman, and he has 1 CP in play. They are not going to do a whole lot versus anything with that can use transhumans. So I'm not going to launch them. They're just going to have to be roadblocked, because the rest of my force does have quite a bit of punch. So we'll keep them there. Warriors moving up to shoot this way. Swarming biding his time. He has enough range to Psychic Scream at them, and then let the Zoanthropes do the work afterward. Exocrine just adjusting so the Plasma can't shoot him right in the butt again. Tyrant guard are just going to have to sit there and eat it. So that's it for movement. Let's come back after. See, the Exocrine let it be down here. Outside of that, though, not too bad a phase. Killed off one of these guys with Psychic. Feeling Pain actually saving another. Saving a Blade Guard thanks to that Apothecary. But over this way, though, I spent all my CP, got Shard Lured off on the Librarian, so should have that charge, especially if we get to reroll. The Exocrine dropping the ball, doing only 2 wounds to the Dreadnought there, missing 5 of my hit rolls with no modifier. So that part kind of hurt. Got the Dimado Catalyst and Onslaughted, which is what I needed. So not too bad, all good there. So we'll see what happens. We're going to charge in with the back, and then the Dimachaeron was hoping to kill the Dreadnought, then go in, and he does have 1 CP to Overwatch me, but it isn't going to be max Flamers, though, so it might not be too bad. So we'll come back. All right, folks, so the Dimachaeron has died to Overwatch. So sad. It was insane. He rolled, for each guy, including the Sergeant with the 2 damage weapon, he rolled 10 hits with the Flamers. Each guy. And then for the wound rolls, I think you had a 75% wound rate.
It was like 18 wounds go through and plus 6 more for the cannon sergeant.
Yeah, so it was, yeah. And then I think I failed over 50% of my 4-ups. And then I don't think I made a single Feel No Pain. No, sorry, I did, but it was a 2 damage weapon, and it was too late for that. So, super sad about that. However, did kill that Snaking Librarian. And came in and tagged 3 units there. So the Trigon has gunked up the back line, but not killing those guys is going to be huge, because they are going to roast the Zoanthropes quite easily. I mean, there's a chance they could kind of withstand it, but all said and done, that was, yeah, the Dimachaeron not doing that was huge. Even statistically, if I got in there with half of them, I probably should have just went over here and played it safe, but then even having these guys running free around for extra shots, that hurts. But, yeah, your dead pile is a lot smaller than mine as of right now. And I lost my... no, the objective. That's 5 points gone. The... I can't remember. To the last. The old to the last name. So that's 5 points gone there. However, I did kill 1 character. But that's it. Let's jump into turn number 3. Some movement done. Salamanders in dominant position here. We got the Eradicators coming over this way. I had them blocked out enough that there wasn't anywhere useful they can come yet. However, jumping to that terrain does open all the doors to shoot everything. Back here, the tank staying in so we can blast him and not wanting to give up all of everything over there with the Trigon. Captain coming back as well so we can swing around. I only have 1 CP, so there won't be any interrupting on his part. So if he can come in and get the job done, that's a big deal. Or even bracket him to reduce effectiveness. That helps a ton. Really banking on these guys just tanking it. Dreadnought just staying where it is. Unfortunately, the Hormagaunts shutting down movement over there. Intercessors holding the line, and Blade Guard moving over this way as well. So that's it. We're going to jump into shooting. Folks, so that is the end of the turn here. So the captain came over here to charge, and unfortunately, he didn't do any wounds to the Trigon. The Trigon gobbled him, so that's 3 more points for me. But I don't think it matters too much to Tyranids. I don't think we have any way to claw back into this one as of yet, unless we need to really spike next turn quite heavily. So these guys kill off the Zoanthropes, again, rolling insanely high average for their Flamers. Then making a 9-inch charge against the Parasite. Actually, I think he rolled like a 10. It was wild. Then these guys came over, made a big charge, or actually no, they didn't make a big charge. They just came and killed the Hormagaunts, diced them up, and then the Warriors are going to have to face off against them. Lost 1 Tyrant Guard from the Plasma, from the Dread, and that's it. So we are on the back end here for the Tyranids. Losing that Dimachaeron, again, it just, even statistics, having the Dimachaeron alive to blend up them or them would have made a huge difference because there was no CP left for transhumans. So the Dimachaeron dying, I think, was the swing point in this match. So we're going to jump into Tyranids turn number 3 and see if we can claw back into it. Folks, so we do, I guess, have ourselves a game. So Swarmlord came up here on Tyranids turn 3. Super Smite did 4 mortals. The Neurothrope Super Smite did 6 mortals, dropped him down. Then I made some big charges. Got positioned enough that I can look out Sir the Swarmlord. So he's sitting there with Catalyst ready to launch around and do the work that needs to be done. Over this way, the Warriors coming in, unfortunately, only killing off 3 of them. Some good saves coming through there. I also forgot my Imperative, but in the end, we just rolled off to see if we could re-roll it. But it could actually have been a lot worse for me, so kind of thankful for that, because the way things have been going is, it's wild. Down here, the Trigon lives. Killed the tank, took a wound back, it blew up, and one of the suppressors died. They took a wound. So madness on that end of the field, madness over here as well. It's actually all said and done. We do have ourselves a very interesting game nonetheless. So we're going to jump into turn number 4 for the Salamanders. All right, so movement and shooting all done for the Salamanders. So we have ourselves a fantastic game. Actually, couldn't ask for a better way to go on 9th edition. So shooting, huge story over here. Everyone ran away from him. No damage done between everything coming in, even through with the Las fuses rolling 3 1s, and then even the Vindicator failing to wound it. Then between all the bolters firing in, nothing. The Eradicators firing in had to advance, or else they wouldn't have got line of sight on anything. Rolled, I think, 5 3s and 1 hit, and then got through. Did 1 damage to the Exocrine, but spent his 1 last CP to reroll and get a 5. I was hoping for that 6. So the Exocrine lives, and that is worth 5 points to me. So I really need to just kill things that can get to it. Over this way, Warriors lost 1 to bolt pistol firing. And then the Dreadnought is going to come in. Lost all but 1 of my Tyrant Guard as well. So Swarmlord was protected and ready to launch in and should buck some stuff up. And then we have charges.
Do you have a shot from my Lieutenant, which I forgot, and it will be going against the Tyrant Guard.
Okay, yeah. Good
for it. 2?
Yeah, so you're going to see if he can hit and hurt a Tyrant Guard right quick.
That's strength 4.
Not so far. Oh, he does.
So -2, 3 flat damage.
3 flat damage? All right, I guess. So he is dead. So there's that. But he's going to charge me, but real quick for me to feel good, I'm going to heroically get you there. But then you're going to charge my Warriors, I assume. Over that way. So they are in. So we got ourselves a very back and forth game here. We'll come back after all the fighting. So that's the end of the turn. The Trigon Prime killed 4 of those guys, and then the last one ran and just moved a little bit forward. And then over this way, my Warriors almost lived. He rolled 3 1s, but then the Salamander reroll saving. Had of that 1 Warrior lived, it would have been a huge deal because he would have been able to kill one of those and also keep him over there. But that's it. We're right down to the end here. It is a very tight match. We're going to jump into Tyranids turn number 4. Folks, what a fantastic way to end this game and the edition. This is definitely one of the best games we've played in a long time, which is so refreshing on both ends. So Swarmlord came in here with the Exocrine firing in, and the Exocrine fighter over there killed both of those guys off. It was amazing. Threw a banner up with this guy because I worked it out. There's no way that banner will get teared down, so that's 2 extra victory points that I shall obtain. Then over this way, Swarmlord failed Smite, but then got Psychic Scream off, killed off a guy. Came in, slammed into the Apothecary, split his attacks. Unfortunately, rolled 5 1s against these guys, but then took out the Apothecary, then moved in, tagged everyone. Trigon went in, smashed out the Lieutenant, tagged these guys as well, not touching the terrain, so hidden. Killed off one of those guys with shooting, so that's a big deal because the Trigon very likely to live with nothing else to be able to shoot it, and then also wiping those guys out, and they can slither around, help tear down some more points here. So, like I said, fantastic way to end this edition. Let's head into turn 5 for the Salamanders. Folks, so we're down to the wire here. This is turn 5 done for the Salamanders. Score is incredibly tight. Assassin moving back. There's not a lot he can do. He's just trying to hide and stop me from scoring. He's staying here on the hopes that Swarmlord will get tied up and there's not a whole lot that Swarmy can do. There is 1 CP on the board, which is definitely going to help the Salamanders. And hopefully they can just keep Swarmlord tied up, keep the banner up, and keep the points flowing. The Exocrine likely to fall here to either the shooting or the melee for sure. But then also the Zoanthrope, if it doesn't get taken out, that's going to secure the Tyranids lots of. All right, folks, so that is the end of the Salamander's turn. So Swarmlord killed off these guys, whiffed. Again, my hit rolls, rolling 2 1s. And so I split the attacks on the off chance I could kill both. Either way, I'm going to get them next turn. Plus, I have Psychic. And then that way I could have ran off to try and do something else. Trigon butchered them, moved over. He's an absolute menace this game. Exocrine fell to melee, and the Neurothrope lived with 1 wound, which is huge for the Tyrants. So we're going to jump into turn 5 in this game, and we're going to see how close the score is. All right, folks, that is the end of the game here. So over this way, the Neurothrope, staying alive, obviously, over there, killing these guys off with Swarmlord, smiting and whatnot. So throwing down the banner. Then the Trigon coming around and not quite able to do it because of Transhuman. If Transhuman wasn't in play, this good is 1 wound. He shot as well. So getting hold 1 and 2. Would have had hold more had we have killed that guy. But it is a final score of 69-67 in favor of the Tyranids. So what a insane game. Couldn't have asked for a better way to end 9th edition and all of the Salamander and Tyranid battle reports on the channel. Really, I think First Strike was the bad one for you. For me, it was, I think I just had bad luck a little bit. Losing the Dimachaeron. MVP, Trigon Prime for me. Hilariously, he's gone in the new index. It's just a Trigon, there's no Prime. So he came out swinging, tunneling away was actually the move of the game. I think if he stayed on the table, you would have had this game. He was a thorn in your side. Who was your MVP?
Flying Stone Regressive.
Yeah, it was insane. Actually very even.
Well worth their points.
Dead pile. My goodness.
The last time you'll have to face them that dangerous.
Yeah, now they are gone. And that's the last time you'll have to face the Trigon Prime. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Of course, stay tuned. 10th edition battle report is going to be coming your way in a week or 2, just once we get the rules officially. I'll try my best to get some Leviathan models painted up as quick as I can. Don't know which one to start with. So if you're watching this before I've done anything, comment below what unit you would like to see first from me. I personally am leaning towards the Leapers or the Screamer. The Barb Grounds are cool too, but the Leapers are very neat and will look fantastic. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching and supporting us through all of 9th edition and all the Tyranid and Salamander reports. What a great way to end this edition.